Hello everyone, welcome to the channel Core Physics, and in this video we are going to discuss a very important topic of physics, that is standards and units, or you can also say it like unit and measurements. Now in physics we know that physics is an experimental science, so the results of experiment are measured, and to indicate these results we need a number. So the number tell us about the extent of that result, like how large is the result or how small is the result. It is totally expressed by the number. Now in physics there are two types of quantities. First one is known as the fundamental quantity, and second is known as the derived quantity. I am going to explain both of them one by one, that what is a fundamental quantity and what is the derived quantity and how it is embedded in our real life. So a fundamental quantity is a quantity which can be measured directly. Like if you want to measure a length, what will you do? You will pull out the ruler and match the endpoints and you can measure the length. Similarly, if you want to measure time, you can look at your watch and you can measure any time period you want to measure, like if it's 5 seconds, 10 seconds, or even 1 minute or 30 minutes. So fundamental quantities are those quantities which can be measured directly, whereas a derived quantity is measured with the help of fundamental quantity. How? Have a look at this. Like consider a car going with a particular velocity. Now to measure the velocity of the car, I have to know the displacement covered by the car, which is again equivalent to the length, and the time taken by the car to cover the displacement. So what we see, that velocity is a derived quantity because it depends on one or more fundamental quantities. Do you understand? Now in our physics there are 7 fundamental, or we can call them base quantities. Fundamental or base quantities, which are as follows: length, mass, time, electric current, thermodynamic temperature, amount of substance, and the last one is luminous intensity. These are the 7 fundamental base quantities. From our previous explanation of fundamental quantities, you can easily see that these quantities are measured directly. We do not need any other dependent quantities to measure them, like whether it's length, mass, time, current, thermodynamic temperature, amount of substance, or luminous intensity. You can measure them all directly. Now, before proceeding further, we need to define what now these 7 fundamental base quantities are measured. Now let us say that we measure them by any type of instrument, but to measure them we need their units. What is the unit of a particular physical quantity is that whether be its length or mass or time, each of them is measured in the number of multiple of their units. Now, whenever a physical quantity is measured, it is measured with a reference. Like, let us say that I want to measure the length of this road. I don't know how long this road is, but I want to measure the length of this road. Then I must have a reference. So let us take this thing here is my reference. Now I don't know how much length it is, but let us say that it is a unit of our measurement. So in terms of this length, I can say if I repeat this length over and over again, like let us say it is repeated over 4 times. So if I call this one a unit, then I can say the length of the road is equivalent to the 4 unit of this length. So to measure every physical quantity, we need a unit which is used as a reference. So for these 7 base quantities, for every base quantities we have a unit. So for length, our unit is defined as in terms of meter. Mass have the unit kilogram. Time have unit second. The unit of electric current is ampere. Unit of temperature is Kelvin. The unit of amount of substance is mole. And in the last, the unit of luminous intensity is candela. Now what these units represent? If I take any example that let us take a electric current. So any type of electric current in the universe is going to be the is going to be a multiple of this quantity 1 ampere. Similarly, any time will be the multiple of 1 second, and they need not to be an integral multiple, like there can be 4.2 ampere or 4 ampere. Okay, so these are the basic measurement unit for these 7 base quantities. How these units are defined is very interesting. A length have a unit known as meter, and who defined that what the length covered in 1 meter? So every unit have its definition. Some major definitions I can tell you right now, like the distance traveled by the light in 1 upon 299,792,458 seconds. In this time interval, the distance traveled by a beam of light is known as 1 meter. Similarly, the definition of 1 kilogram is this 1 kilogram is the mass of a prototype, which is a platinum iridium alloy cylinder, and that is kept in France at International Bureau of Weights and Measurement. Like, we cannot let everyone have its own kilogram, so we have defined a particular weight which is known as a kilogram. Like, you cannot say that my 1 kilogram is different and yours 1 kilogram is different. Everywhere the value of 1 kg must be same. So therefore, to keep the uniformity, we have defined some particular values to each of them. So this is how the measurement in the physics is done. Now there are some more definitions for these quantities which you can figure out. These are just mere definitions. My objective is to teach you that how a unit is used for measurement. Thank you very much.